up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is motherfucking Monday. How everybody doing out there today? Um, Dino was supposed to be showing up. I don't know what happened with Dino, so he might be popping in. Uh, so first things first. Uh, I've been following this Panama King. It's been all over YouTube. I'm sure it's been on TikTok. I ain't on TikTok very much. I'm surprised it ain't been too much on Facebook. Um, but to sum it up, we talked about it on a couple of the shows, I believe. This kid in Panama, uh, I guess, witnessed a meteor or something that shot down. It was, it wasn't fake. It's been documented. The meteor hit. Now, most of his TikToks have been translated because he's speaking in Spanish or Panamanian, whatever they speak down there. Excuse me. And so the translations vary here and there. For instance, one says that he was out looking for, his dog or whatever and came across this thing. The other one says they saw this thing hit and they went looking for it. So uh, you determine for yourself. Look it up. Since then, when they found this whatever meteor or where the meteor hit, there was a big kind of dip in the ground, not real big, but big enough, and it was on fire, but there was nothing really there. It was just like this potato looking rock. It was small, it was solid. The guy just picked it up and kept it just to have a souvenir, collected the rock. Over the next few days, and he had documented it. uh this thing started reacting different ways to different things. Then it started growing some weird, look like black sludge or whatever out of it. And over a series of videos, the kid documented it pretty well. Uh, this thing started growing, and it ended up looking like this thing right behind me. The last video that I seen he posted, he was scared. There was definitely somebody following him. They were telling him to take down his videos. People were just getting a hold of him here and there. He let this thing free in in a national park. It looked like it was, one says national park, one says undisclosed area, one says it's swamp. He let it go in the woods inside this water, like little creek thing. Uh, so, I mean, I haven't seen any updates since then. Now, some people are freaking out saying that he let this thing into the ecosystem, whether it might be could be a bacteria, fungus. You don't know what it is. You just let this into a new environment. It's definitely going to have some kind of effect on the environment. Now, if we look at it as more of a biohazardous way instead of a biological way, uh, that could have fucking tainted the water of that whole fucking place. I mean, on one end, you're looking at the animal life. If this thing could be eating animals, it could be bonding with animals, mating, make a new species or whatever. Um, or it could fuck the water system, which is going to fuck you or the people and the plant life. So it does have a lot of different ramifications, um, none of which are good. What I seen though, which nobody's really talking about in these videos, there's one particular video that kid put out where there was like 6 or 7 different bottles. Apparently, he was sending them to different universities. So there's a lot more of these samples of whatever the fuck that thing was going out. Now, if those things are alive or sentient, we don't know if it's like a worm or whatever. You cut off the tail, it grows back another one. So those things could be sentient. They cannot be sentient. Who knows? I mean, I'm stretching it, even saying that it might be sentient. It sure as fuck seemed like it though. So there are those jars that nobody knows where those went. On top of that, a buddy of mine was looking this up. No, we got Dino. I thought they had him in the gulag or something. He saw some news he wasn't supposed to see or some shit like that.
That's exactly accurate, sir. I was in the gulag. That's yeah.
So just giving little updates on the whole the Panamanian Venom thing.
Yeah.
Did you see
So
that? He released that shit into just the open. like he just
what?
yeah, he just like he took it to well, one translation says it's a flooded part of the forest. Another
That's worse. That's
another
worse.
another translation said it was in the national park. Um, so
Oh
either way, he put it in a creek in a forest.
You know what? Like it's stuff like that where you're like, oh, we're not gonna survive. That's it. We're
Well,
no,
where I was
can't do
getting
it.
at one, we all know the different ramifications of this. It could be, he put it in the water, so that shit that could taint the waterways if it's that like a biohazard type, substance.
Yeah.
Or if it's a biological substance, it could be eating different species. It could bond with certain species.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's all kind of. Now the one weird thing, and I was talking about is there's one video that when they're showing the clips of this guy's video, and I
Mhm.
don't know if you could go on his TikTok or not. I don't really suggest it because if they're watching him on his TikTok, they're watching whoever's watching him because he's
Hey,
not saying who he was given whatever information to.
it's a
But
party.
in one of them videos, there was like 6 or 7, maybe even more different jars where he snipped off pieces of this thing and he was supposedly sending them to different universities. So there's different jars of this thing. Now we don't know if this is gonna reproduce. Like if you snip off a piece of fucking a worm or something and it grows another worm, or even some plants do that shit. You can make from a clipping. My mom used to make a fucking garden. So I mean, now the oddest thing, the last video, and
Uh-huh.
I forgot because it was part of like they showed the video of him dumping this thing off.
Hmm.
But then, like the guy who was going over the video and doing the translations, didn't know. Like you could tell this was the first time he was watching it because there's like a pause in the video for like maybe a half a minute, and then the video starts back up again. It's
Mhm.
alive because the dude went and visited it.
Oh god.
So now, amongst these pieces that are floating around somewhere, Grape um, mentioned to me that in a little bit of research that he's done that there's like 50 of these things,
Oh,
not
that's
just
good.
in Panama.
Oh, nice.
So and Grape, he gets good leads, but Grape kind of he Alex Joneses it sometimes. So I got to
Hmm.
double check on his stuff. I'm not saying that he's wrong. He's giving me a lot of great leads, but to take all of it as factual information, I got to do my double checking.
Listen, at this point of the internet, let's be honest, nothing should be taken at face value.
Oh,
Period.
but
So,
but
you
wait,
know,
there's more.
oh, great. That's nice.
So in Las Vegas,
Hmm.
there is another one of these that looks
Oh,
almost
good.
identical to the dudes. It's not confirmed if it's real or fake, but news is saying it's kind of real. Um, they're not.
Kind
They
of
didn't
real.
say
What does
it.
that mean? Jesus.
They're showing like I've seen pictures. Like they got
Hmm.
still photographs.
Hmm.
At least the kid in Panama, his shit moved. That was video.
Hmm.
So I mean, you can fake it ink blot really easy.
True.
um, but yeah, so they're claiming there's one in fucking Vegas now. So why don't you look that up? Vegas Venom.
Oh, God. I'm definitely on a list of something Vegas.
And the only reason why I say to say it like that is because that's how I find the Panamanian one. You Google Panamanian venom and boom.
So nothing Venom alien. Let's go. Hold on. Las Vegas Venom alien. Ooh, there is something. Viral video from June 2024 showing a black gooey substance on Las Vegas sidewalk that appeared to be crawling, which some speculate was genuine alien form. Nice.
Where's it at? Nobody decided to be like, hey, this puppy dog looks weird.
It's eating all the homeless people in the tunnels underneath Las Vegas.
I, I mean, at this point, that could be a possibility, dude.
Well, so this is the thing: is there has been ongoing discussion that apparently there are significant a significant populace dwelling in the tunnels underneath Las Vegas.
Oh, dude, they have them
And
in a
there,
lot of cities.
yeah. Well, so this is the thing: is Las Vegas, for lack of a better term, is fairly new with regards to their renovations of their underground tunnel system. Right. There are tunnel systems throughout the eastern seaboard that have been here since the dawn of time, which gives rise to Appalachian stories and human disappearances and things like that. Now, the problem is that and if you've ever watched any of the CSI shows, you'll know that they're like there's certain parts of the underground that like there are homeless people there, and then the homeless people be like, don't go down there, you won't come back, like that's not safe. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, I don't know, it's just not,
Well,
people don't come back from there, right?
they
So
made a movie about that back in the New York ones because there's under the subways and shit. There's been so many like revamping of New York and shit. Like there's like cities pretty much under New York, and a lot of
well,
the homeless people live up under there. But there was a movie called Chud. You ever hear about that from back in the '80s? It's
no.
cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. And here it
Chud.
was these things that like just came to life. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
And it was feeding on the homeless population that was in the
Well,
fucking the under the tunnels and shit. And
I
I mean,
mean,
like if it
listen.
and see the whole Vegas thing though, as far as tunnels are, I would think that the tunnels under Vegas, I mean, there are probably more and newer ones, but as far as like being not like I wouldn't think there would be a big homeless population because most of them tunnels run through Area 51 and Dolce.
So
So
there are so interestingly enough, there's a few times where professional spelunkers, okay, those are people who go through tunnels and things, um, have opened up certain areas because they're like, oh, these are like ancient tunnels and like lost parts of society, and then they'll open a hatch and a camera is right at their face, and they're like, okay, and then you find out they're like, oh yeah, so a lot of those times those are starting points or end points for critical facilities, and those joining areas are the only areas that are monitored. And when they see your face, which conveniently gets just recorded and sent through everywhere, and then you get a nice little knock on the door, nice little hello, how are you, sir? You've been in the tunnels. We have to have a little discussion because you're not allowed in there. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at that Chud alien. That's a good looking alien. It kind of looks
it's
like it
actually
should be.
not an alien though.
It,
It was formed here from fucking biohazardous waste and well, it's back in the '80s toxic waste.
it kind of reminds me of the actress who plays the new Snow White, because the eyes are in different places a little bit. Uh,
Oh,
Maybe the new Little Mermaid. Hey, this is like a real deal Little Mermaid. That's fine. Yeah, I get it.
so speaking of great segue. Um, Jimmy Kimmel.
One of the greatest black entertainers ever. Just so
Well,
everybody knows.
here's something that nobody's talking about. Everybody is talking about how he got booted.
Yeah.
Everybody's screaming free speech, although, where were you when Tucker Carlson was telling the truth? He
Right.
got booted because he was releasing evidence that apparently you guys didn't want to see.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, all the J6 tapes. Remember when he said he was going to drop them all? He got to drop like fucking 2 videos and they stopped him and booted him.
Oh.
Because it proved everything was fucking a big lie.
Yeah.
But nobody said shit to Tucker. And Tucker bowed out like a gentleman. Tucker started his own thing. He had plenty of fucking people wanting him on their shows, and he bowed out and did his own thing.
Well, Tucker now gets more views than most news broadcasts across the cable. So,
I mean, he bowed out gracefully. He was like, "Okay, fuck you guys, I'm out."
Yeah.
I mean, nobody said nothing about Roseanne Barr. Nobody said nothing about even if in the comedy scene, like Gilbert Gottfried. Nobody said shit about him.
Mm.
But now all of a sudden, freedom of speech is getting just kicked in the fucking nuts because Jimmy Kimmel got booted for saying. First of all, his little ignorant remarks were just the straw that broke the camel's back. His fucking show's ratings were down in the shitter. There was nobody gave 2 fucks about Jimmy Kimmel before this. You guys are just using this as your only little ploy. You ploy, fuck Trump, Trump this bad, because all the fucking protests that I seen at ABC was not bring Jimmy back. It was Trump gotta go. All this like that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find that funny because you're like, well, let's be honest. You don't really care about Jimmy Kimmel. You guys care about what your goal is, and that is get rid of the president, which is also ridiculous.
So like I said, all we've been hearing is about all these protests and everybody's up in arms over it. What we didn't hear is Kimmel's never going to get his job back. That fucker was just arrested for fucking trying to break into ABC.
No, was he really?
He don't have clearance. He tried to, force his way in through security. Security had to call the police and have him removed.
I gotta look that up.
I just seen that. I was just watching the fucking video on
it.
Like,
it's on YouTube on Hollywood Access. Jimmy Kimmel arrested trying to force his way back. Bro. I mean, yeah.
You couldn't bow gracefully, motherfucker. Obviously, you get to borrow the fucking libtard army for your cause. They'd have probably brought you back. And then
he would have gotten some bullshit show a little bit later or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, Victoria.
And for all you women who are defending him, don't forget his whole claim to fame was having chicks with tight shirts and no bras bouncing on fucking trampolines. Just to let you know.
It was the best time. Hey, the Man Show was a great achievement in mankind history.
And you see, that didn't last long.
Well, you know what? Remember, Jimmy Kimmel also did blackface a little while ago. He's done all sorts of stuff. And the fact is that, well, let's be honest. He's on the inside of the cool people group, let's call it. So, he gets away with stuff. not anymore. Well, see, this is the problem is you can have, and a few people have said this, is like, you can say whatever you want. And actually, it's Jimmy Kimmel's quote. Let me see. Hold on, I'll read it out to you because Kimmel quote on free speech. Well, he was talking about somebody else who was like, you can be allowed to say whatever you want, but you can't demand that people pay you to say whatever you want. And you're like, yep. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, bro. So I think it was Megan
Kelly.
Maybe.
Hey, wait, a second.
Anyways,
Look for
yeah.
that. I gotta mute this mic for a minute.
All right. Well, you do that, sir. That's very understandable. Yeah, I don't. The whole thing just makes no fucking sense, right? But after all is said and done, you know, he made a decision. It's you can disagree with people all you want. It doesn't matter that you disagree with them, but taking joy in someone being murdered in front of their family, that makes you a horrible piece of shit. That's the bottom line. Hi, Ray. It's such a weird thing that people are like, no, they shouldn't be canceled. You're like, really? That makes you even worse. Like supporting free speech is one thing, but supporting this idea that people won't suffer the consequences of their actions is what's become more heinous, I think.
Sorry about that.
No, life's been happening all day.
Oh,
It's just something that happens.
oh, so yeah, and just this whole, and then of all things,
Yeah.
um, I guess Trump just went out here and started giving Pam Bondi the business for not going after Adam Schiff and Letitia James and Comey, um, and he used the argument. People were saying it's the same old administration. Nothing, you see stuff happen and nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
Hey, Dick, fucking get the fouls up. People shut the fuck up. Tell her, if all the thing the fucking bitch at this broad for,
yeah.
Obviously you don't know what you're talking about. You don't care that, you were seen in there because, let's just get it straight. Fucking Trump is in that goddamn files, and where he's at is already known. And it's nothing bad or lascivious or anything like that. Or it would have been out. You goddamn know. Because the people who are fucking holding on to this shit are the ones that are in this motherfucker. And Trump's stuck in this sauce to the point where he's like, fuck this thing. I'm not in it. I ain't worried about it. But the rest of the fucking world is.
Yeah.
I mean, Kash Patel, even though I love his guts and the way he fires back at everybody, dude, you're saying the same fucking thing that everybody else says. You're going in circles and nothing is getting fucking done. I mean,
so this is the thing is that I know Kash Patel is honeypotted. There's no question. Okay. I'm not questioning that whatsoever. At the same time, though, like the way he's wording things is very interesting because it seems like he's like, I want to release this stuff, but I'm not going to jail for releasing this stuff. So he's trying to cover his own ass. So I'm like, you get it.
Fucking he's saying he'll get arrested or if he lets certain things out. But I mean, I watched the Senate hearing. That's instead of watching what happened to Charlie, that's what I was doing. I was watching that Senate hearing. Yeah. And the shit that they want to see is not bound by the fucking courts.
That's why I'm like that.
Now, if there's shit bound by the courts, okay. Even if there's 9 things out of the 10 things that are bound by the court. Now, he has, with something that's kind of odd that nobody talks about, over 3,000 fucking pages of whatever that was released. And that's on top of, that phase 1 horse shit.
Yeah.
So some stuff was out there, but again, it's nothing that these people want to hear. It's nothing that they don't care about it. The Steens and the Steins and the Leibowitzes and all them other, they don't care about any of that. They don't care about the Tom Hankses and the fucking all them fucking folks and the HRCs. They don't care about that. They are trying to find that one little shred of something that tie the president to this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And Kash Patel and Bondi are not helping the situation.
No. So, and you know what? Like it really comes down to, well, remember there was the whole thing about, I think Robot Chicken did it where they were torturing the little nerdy guy. And he was like, just tell me what you want to say and I'll say it. They're like, say it's in Afghanistan. It's like, it's in Afghanistan. He's like, boom, we got it. There you go. And you're like, everybody it keeps on going through this, and they're like, we don't give a shit about all the information. We want to know what one name was on there, that it was
Right.
Trump, and that's all we give a shit about. And you're like, oh, he's not there. They're like, nope, you got to find it in there. And you're like, well, hold on, what is and like that's where it gets confusing, because it's like, are we trying to find the truth, or are we trying to make sure someone is guilty? Because those aren't always the same thing. Because like, look, you and I both know is, hey, if you try and learn something, the problem is you don't always learn what you wanted to learn. You learn the truth, and that is terrifying. The problem is people only want to hear their own. 100% of the time. Look, nobody wants to find out that, hey, you're the piece of shit, right? But the fact is, like, and I try and explain this to people where I'm like, look, people always want to be Rick Sanchez. And then you're like, but actually, then they're like, oh, but we're probably Morty. No, you're actually Jerry. You're the dad who's a fucking loser. Okay. That's the fucking truth of it. Did you freeze? Jesus. One Rick and Morty reference and he froze, people. Now you know the truth. Yeah. Hey, like it's there's no rhyme or reason. No, you're still messed up.
Downplay.
It's so I don't understand. Like, people would rather not hear the truth and just hear their emotions coddled to. When you're going, no, is this what happened? They're like, well, I don't know. Yeah, okay. And now I'm by myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Dino the Genetic Marvel, and now this is Dino's show, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. So, la di da di da. Yeah, I that was, I think, something that a lot of people are have a misconception of, that there's perception, and then there's the truth, and then there's an opinion. And the fact is that opinions and perceptions go together, and the truth usually does not align with those, because people want to know what they want to know. They want to know that I was right, that person's the bad guy, right? So they look for that. But realistically, if that's what you're looking for, you'll find it eventually in some way. I find it funny too, Ray. It's very hilarious. But I'm sure he'll be back shortly. That's why I don't understand why people have this inherent need to be right, as opposed to wanting to know the truth. As you can hear, I am still stuffed up, everyone, but I am on the mend. Soon enough, I'll be okay.
Good?
Welcome back. If it isn't the man who the NSA hates for no reason, it's hilarious.
Yeah. I even had to scream into we'll change the damn subject.
Yeah.
Ain't that a bitch? You know, they talk about fucking making yourself feel like crazy. Because you still don't want to believe that there's really somebody monitoring you, but then,
hey, it's not gaslighting, it's jasslighting. Just so you know, it's pronounced jasslighting. That's
Jess, it is. Jess, it is.
Yeah, Jess, it is.
All right, so off the political thing,
sure.
Something else that I've noticed that, I mean, it's happening more and more, and of course they're trying to spin it towards the whole shit with Charlie Kirk. First of all, let me say this: I respected that man. I was not a Charlie Kirk fanboy, but I did, appreciate what he did. I watched quite a few of his debates because that's what I do. That's how I learned a lot of, my techniques and whatever. And I also listened to that idiot Destiny, and that dude Milo is fucking awesome.
Bro, hey, Milo is a catty bitch. Okay, like he is
that dude.
Hey, the best part is, so Milo and Constantine something, I'm like, both of them are of Greek heritage, and they are taking people to town, and I'm like, coming back from the dead, baby. We got this.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's
yeah. I can't wait for him to hit the college scenes. If these kids got pissed off over fucking Charlie, Jesus Christ.
Bro, Milo is fucking savage. Okay. And also, he does not hold back in any way, shape, form. And also, he's a gay. Like, bro, he is catty like no one else. Okay?
He's a gay Jew married to a black man.
if you disagree with him, you're racist immediately. You're a bigot. You're a bigot piece of shit. If you disagree, even Jeffree Star, who's a
Yes.
fucking weirdo, is like, what are you guys arguing over biology? Are you guys insane? And you're
Yeah.
like, the fucking freak is like, you guys don't make sense. And you're like, bro, okay, listen, everybody needs to relax, okay?
Dude, after I seen his fucking interview, I immediately started following him.
I mean, listen, he's good at makeup. Good on him. But he's like, he's still making sense. Like, common sense has like, it's not like people are like, common sense is left the building. You're like, you know what? But it's outside just having a smoke. Like, you just got to open the door and let it back in. It's right by the door. Like,
again, you took smoking out of the building.
yeah,
that
well,
was the problem.
That's what you get.
Was the fucking problem.
Do you remember when talk show hosts would have a cigarette while they're talking to people? And you're like, hey,
the news guys having fucking cigarettes in their mouth.
I mean, listen, it was a better time. It was a better time. Listen, bring back smoking to the newsroom and things will go okay, people.
You notice that people are a lot healthier when the doctors could walk in with a cigarette in their mouth?
Hey, so I have a story. A friend of ours, a childhood friend, they went on a motorcycle in Greece, and him and his wife got into a car accident, and her scalp got peeled, like cut open. Okay. Yeah, but it was only superficial. There's not so this is the thing, is hey, he peels it open, he's got a cigarette, he blows smoke into the wound to get some of the gravel out, and he goes, she'll be fine. We just gotta clean it up and close it back up. He breathed smoke onto her bare skull and was like, yeah, it's fine. And you're like, and the guy's like, she's fine. So I mean,
have you ever looked up the benefits of nicotine?
There's actually real benefits to nicotine.
Yeah. There's a long list of good things that a cigarette could do. And on the short end, it's lung cancer, you're gonna die. Wait a minute.
But hey, this is the thing, is the lung cancer is caused by all of the chemicals that they use in the manufacturing process.
Rarely, like the cigar smokers, like very rarely get the same fucking disease, especially real deal, like good tobacco cigar smokers. They don't get the same fucking shit that cigarette smokers and shit like that. No, it's totally different. If they get anything, they might get some mouth shit because they sucking on it like it's a dick. Because I see a lot of old men sucking on the end of a fucking cigar, like, dude.
The worst thing I ever saw was a guy with a pipe that had a cigar sticking out of the pipe, and I'm like, what kind of gay shit is that, bro? I'm like, either smoke a pipe or like ridiculous.
I put a blunt in a pipe.
Okay, a blunt. It's kind of it nullifies the gayness. Right? If it's just a cigar, you're like, yeah, that's gay. That's fine.
Anyways, like I was saying, now everybody's, still, all right, it happened to Charlie. It sucks. We're gonna have our visuals. They did their big thing. We did the half mast. Now the rest of the fucking world goes on. They're trying to jump on these two kids about the lynching, and they're not saying that the one was white. It's mighty funny to me that all these high-end investigators and the Carmelo Anthony and George Floyd fucking attorney is on this case for the black kid, but nobody gives two shits about the white kid that's fucked up. Nobody, but it's pretty much been real down low. I haven't heard too much about it. What I haven't heard about until just recently, apparently they found 5 they're younger than me, 5 kids somewhere in the bayou of Texas. Over the past
bayou in Texas?
Yeah, right. I didn't know there was a bayou in Texas. So I didn't get the fact check it. It's just I seen it pop up a couple times. I didn't get to look into it. But I mean, now, first of all, Texas, and if there's anything like bayou type deal, I would think maybe Mexican girls.
Well, you would assume it's close to the Gulf Coast. Yeah, it does have a bayou. So that you found there were 5 people found?
Kids? 5 young girls, I guess.
Oof. That sucks.
I'm not exactly sure. That's why you usually pull it up. You just looked up Bayou. You didn't look up the girls in the Bayou.
No, I didn't.
What is a Texas Bayou like? Like that would fall into
Same.
California, wouldn't it?
No. So it's all so essentially because remember it's just beside Louisiana, right? So it's kind of like a
Oh,
goes from Florida down the bottom, all anything. It's kind of all that area of right on the Gulf Coast because there's a lot of deltas, so they have a lot of water going in there. Let me Google. So five. See, I don't want to type 5 girls found in Texas Bayou, but found in Texas Bayou. Yeah. So no. So there's no recent reports of 5 girls found in Texas Bayou. However, a 12-year-old girl, Jocelyn Nungary, was found dead in Houston Bayou in June 2024 after being strangled. Ugh, Jesus Christ. Then there's another one on Instagram 2 days ago that says there were bodies found in Houston bayous. Possible serial killer. That's much worse.
So it sounds to me like somebody's trying to keep this under the carpet.
Okay, so interesting enough, so the AI response is there's nothing recent. However, Fox 26 Houston says Houston body found by paddler in Buffalo Bayou, which is the Texas Bayou. That's what it's called.
That sounds fucking fabulous. That's a
Right.
scary Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bayou.
Allegedly. Just allegedly, everyone.
Allegedly is going across the bottom.
At about 8:20 a.m., police say a call came in about a body found in Buffalo Bayou. They say someone was paddling in the bayou. Number one, don't paddle in the bayou. That's a mistake. Don't do that. Dig deeper. Saturday's incident makes the 5th body that was recovered from a Houston bayou this week and the 14th body this year. On Thursday, police say another body was recovered from Buffalo Bayou following a report of someone jumping in. Don't jump in the bayou. That's foolishness. On Tuesday, a body was recovered from White Oak Bayou near Taylor Street. On Monday, 2 other.
But
It
yeah,
has since been
Google
confirmed.
it, no bodies were found in the bayou. Ain't that odd?
Let's see. It has since been confirmed that the deceased person in Brays Bayou on Monday was a student at the University of Houston, 20-year-old Jada McKissick. Was initially reported as a missing person. Reports say she was last seen on September 11th, leaving the 3700 block of North McGregor Way. According to the Cougar, Jada McKissick was a junior in University of Houston, majoring in strategic communication and advertising. In a letter sent to the students, she was described at the university as a campus resident and student employee and a friend to many in our community. Her cause of death is being determined by medical examiners. Police will investigate based on that. Be safe, everyone.
Death, murder.
I don't think murder is the cause of death.
Yeah. If you're murdered, you died. Everything else is how you got murdered.
Is murder the cause of death? Hold on. Now I got to find it out. Is murder a cause? I'm going to jail for my cert. Is murder a cause of death? Oh yeah, murder is a cause of death. Yeah. Oh, so the difference is cause of death versus manner of death. It's important to distinguish between the cause and manner of death. Cause of death is a specific injury, disease, or condition, whereas the manner of death, how the injury, disease came about. 5 standard manners of death are neutral, accident, suicide, homicide, undetermined. So, how murder been?
Homicide.
Homicide. Hey, homicide is different. That's not the same. That's usually at a party. It's different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody's really saying too much. You Google it and it don't pop up. You got to actually go to local news, which I found to have more information than anything anymore. Aside from just going to a total outsiders news. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
local news has predominantly been the reason that we get our information. It's only in the last 15 years, 20 years has been mashed into one national news. National news is mostly on federal stuff. So local
Yeah,
news
it
has been
even
really
hit.
important, and local news has been under attack for 30, 40 years.
It's even it even hit Al Jazeera. I mean, Al Jazeera, you can't even fucking get like because I used to hit Al Jazeera, Sky News Australia, the Hindi Times. You
Yeah.
know, just to get a perspective on what everybody because if we just listen to Americans, man, we're fucked.
Oh, no, yeah, you're not getting. Listen, even I'll be honest with you, man. Even I remember getting in the early 2000s. I got my parents a direct. You could get two Greek channels, and one was Canadian, but
Uh-huh.
it was all Greek speaking, and the other one was a direct line from Greece. And I'm like, I want the direct line from Greece, and they're like, okay, it's $20 a month. I'm like, done. And that one showed some heinous shit. And you're going, yeah, but it was just news. It's not opinion. It's like this is the shit that's happening. And then you see on North American news, and you're like, everything has just been washed. There's no details, there's no information. And you're going, listen, war is a horrible thing. Whether you want it, whether it's just, whether it's unlawful, it doesn't make a difference. It is horrible. And people don't understand that kind of shit. Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how I form my perspective on what's going on and everything. Like for
Yeah.
instance, I've seen interviews with people in Russia, and people in Russia are devastated about both sides of the issues. They're not picking a side. They're just they're devastated on both sides.
Yeah.
You see interviews with the Ukrainians depending on now if you get a national fucking and now their news is very far and few.
Mm.
But if you get their national news, you know, they're winning this and they're this and they're that and
Sure.
bad Russia. And you look at like Palestinian news and they're all for kill the Israelis. There's no peace. There's no nothing like that. But if
Yeah.
you look at the Israeli shit too, and not their national one, because
Yeah.
they're just as bad as the fucking Ukraine, on the Israeli side, they got no fucking. They're not wanting peace. They're not wanting none. Neither side. What should fucking happen is the U.S. should pull all funding to the litter box over there and let them do what they do. They want to act like biblical fucking idiots. Then you fucking you hash it out on your own. No more nothing. No more nothing from neither side. Figure it the fuck out, or you're all gonna die. And that's the same way for fucking Russia and Ukraine. If Russia is doing so bad and
Yeah.
Ukraine is doing so good, then they don't need us.
How dare you try and make sense, sir? How dare you? This is the internet. This is not where we make sense. This is where we spread propaganda. Okay.
And I did that on the last fucking 15 minutes just in case.
Yeah,
Just
that's
in
fair.
case.
Just in case. No, see, this is the thing too. Is I'm not sure if you remember, Marco, but there was quite a few years ago there were some crazy lootings that were happening in the UK, and when they interviewed young people, the young people were like, well, every day I'm told that if I want to have a good life, I need to have Jordans, I need to have big TVs, I need to have this, I need to have that. And the fact is that I'm poor. I'm never going to have that. So we just decided to take it. And you say to yourself, well, listen, that's actually the absolute peak of marketing, right? You took a want and you made it into a need to the point where people are willing to do whatever they need to do to get it. So, in the same sense, you've propagandized hate towards people so much so that they don't really give a shit. They don't want information, they don't want knowledge, they don't want understanding. They just want people to not be there. And then people are going, "Why is everybody so angry?" Well, that your propaganda worked. That's it. That's the bottom line, which is
That's the
terrifying,
one thing
but
I gotta say about the U.S. Like we passed that phase. I mean, now when the looting is happening, it's just because they're assholes. Because when we were growing up, if you didn't know how to fight and you had some good Jordans, the new Jordans, or you had a nice coat or a
yeah,
gold chain, somebody was beating your ass and taking it, and it was somebody who was broke, and but it was gonna happen. But we got past that phase. It was like a rite of passage almost. You had to get past that bully. If
Yeah.
you could make it your year with your shoes on, then fuck you made it that year. You passed the test.
I mean, yeah. I've never had anyone try and take my shoes.
I mean, what was it?
Uh,
Eminem said it. What happened to having a good old fashioned ass whooping and getting your shoe, coat, and your hat taken?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's a weird. See, this is the problem though. Is if you keep on taking from that person, tomorrow they're going to come with a knife, and you can ask for the shoes. You're going to get the knife. That's what's going to happen, right? So, and then what? You're going to criminalize the little kid because they wanted to protect themselves. Because look, this is what's been happening throughout the last 15, 20 years. Is somebody gets bullied, then they finally react and they go, "Oh, how dare you react with violence?" You're like, "Hold on, this kid's been bullied for the last 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever, and you did nothing. So now you're gonna blame them? Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, but the biggest issue with that is, I mean, and I totally agree with you, but the
Yeah,
biggest issues is the parents aren't teaching these kids how to fight or to defend themselves. All they're seeing is grab a fucking gun.
yeah,
And like I've said this plenty of times, when we were younger, we only grabbed a gun. There was some situations to have to go grab a gun. And if you use a gun other than situations, you was labeled a bitch.
yeah,
I mean, what's up, Scott?
yeah.
And nowadays, it ain't the kid fucking learning how to. You get the montage and you're the best around, and the kid is at
Nothing's
the
gonna
box.
ever keep you down. Yeah, no, absolutely.
He's not in the boxing gym, or he's not doing the
No,
karate, or any of that shit. He's just going into fucking Pawpaw's fucking closet and grabbing a fucking gun, and
yeah.
boom, it's gone.
So, but that's the whole problem is that you and I have been around, and the fact is, okay, so if there's a bully that nobody can take on, good. That's when you start a group, and the group figures shit out.
Oh, then gotta watch that too,
You
because I
do.
mean, you go
Hey,
if you look
Bloods
at
and Crips. Look, Bloods and Crips were created as a neighborhood watch program.
right.
That is a scientific, like that is historical fact, people.
Yeah, but the problem was when the Bloods and the Crips decided to gang up on the white folks, then the white folks created the Aryan Nation down in California, and then we have American History X.
I mean,
And,
listen.
those are all weak white kids that were getting constantly picked on. They weren't racist to begin with. Nobody fucking, they weren't born into racism. A lot of their families didn't teach them that shit.
Yeah.
They were getting bullied. They were getting bullied. Who were they getting bullied by? The blacks.
Hey,
And
I,
so
I
everybody who got bullied by the blacks got together, and now they're racist.
so well, and this is the thing too, though, is I really think that like American History X should definitely be taught in schools, 100%. Just for the simple fact that you need to understand that. Listen, people will cater to your fear to manipulate you into doing what they want, right? And that's the most that's the easiest thing that has happened throughout time, right? Because think about it, we don't know what's going to happen after we die. We have a lot of assumptions, beliefs, thoughts, opinions, but we don't. So one of the biggest things people do is cater to say, hey, if you do this, when you die, things are going to be good. And you're going, oh, well, then I should do that. Not that big of a deal. Oh, you know what? If you tithe 10% of your income, God will love you when you die. Oh,
Give God the first portion of your income. Say that with me. Give God the first portion of your income.
right. So God rest his soul. My brother Michael from Pittsburgh was in the Jesus. You see, and that's the thing is, if you watch American History X, you realize none of that's real. None of that's real. There's no. Those are just people. Look, power. What we know to be for sure is people will manipulate you through your fear, and ultimately, what was the other point? Was oh, I'm still sick. I can't think. My brain isn't braining.
Brain fart. It happens.
Yeah, yeah. It was more like brain diarrhea. Everything just just disappeared. Yeah. No,
And,
no. Like that. That's people will use your fear against you. Is 100% factual, and after all is said and done, you know, things are never what they seem. They're just not, right? And that's why perspective is so important, and being able to see through people's bullshit is hugely important. If you don't, you just get wrapped up in someone else's crazy thoughts.
and going back to your bullying, when you were talking about bullying, I've always told my kids, I would rather you be a bully than be the victim.
Sure.
And this is why. Bullies grow up. A good parenting, good guidance, good,
Yeah.
a little bit of maturity. Most bullies, at least that I've encountered and that I've seen, grow up. A lot of them apologize for their ways. A lot of them see the perspective of
Sure.
their ways and the consequences,
Yeah.
and they learn from that shit.
Yeah.
A lot. I know a lot of bullies that ended up being some of the nicest people just because they knew they were wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, that there's a reason behind the bullying too. That just like a dog, everybody says pit bulls are bad. No, you trained that motherfucker the wrong way, and then you didn't correct him when he did something fucking wrong. You know,
Yeah.
now victims generally hold that shit in. Victims generally fucking, it builds up and builds up and builds up,
Yeah.
and then boom, you ain't. Back then the joke was, then you ain't got a post office anymore. But now it's, you don't have a fucking high school anymore. I mean,
Or a Walmart. That's
eh,
Oh, my other point was, yeah, people will manipulate you through your fear, and power corrupts. Two
yeah,
principles that you can guide your entire existence on.
yep, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Every
That
time.
was in one of the MCU fucking movies.
Mhm. That's older than time itself, right? When you're in control, yeah, you can't be told that you're wrong, because you're not. You're always right. Why? You're in control. And if
That's why
people
I
think
never
you are wrong, no, they're wrong.
yeah.
Why? I'm in control.
That's why I never like being the top of nothing. Never. I don't want to. From my motorcycle club to Upside Down Studios to nothing.
Yeah,
I'll be second. I'll be second in command.
absolutely.
I'll do footwork. You need me to do footwork, whatever. I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to be the
Yeah.
boss. I don't want to be the fucking top. And anybody who wants to be that is a fucking idiot. It's a
Yes.
fucking idiot.
Well, the only person who wants to be in charge should not be in charge.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just be let's be very clear. Anyone who's like, I want to be in charge, don't let that person be in charge. They are not going to work out well. Right? That's
No,
just
no, not at all.
I have yet to see someone who goes, I want to be in charge, that has actually worked out well. Just ever. Ever in my entire existence.
Oh my
And I've been alive for 6,000 years. No,
god.
it's longer than that.
3 million years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here's something
65 million years ago, me and the dinosaurs were chilling.
you're killing it with these lead-ins. Um, so we'll end with this with the last few minutes on here. So apparently, not too long ago, they found this girl frozen at the top of a volcano.
Leave her there.
Yeah, no, they didn't. So she's over 5,600, maybe 5,000 years. We'll just say 5,000 roughly years old.
Awesome.
She was supposedly ritualistically sacrificed.
As they
So
should be.
basically, she was left up. The way it sounded, she was just left up there to die of starvation, or maybe it could have been the smoke from the volcano. She could
Yeah.
have fucking dug. They might have tossed her in the volcano, and she made it out and just froze. Who knows?
And it
Either way,
ruined their weather for an entire season because she
yeah,
was selfish. That's
crops were fucked. So they got this girl just chilling in the lab, and she all organs are intact. There is blood in her veins, and they're constantly joking about they're waiting for her to wake up.
goddamn. Why? 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 Why?
They want to
What?
prove that cryogenesis actually works.
Oh, you know what?
Because that's natural cryogenesis right there. And if that, I mean, if that temperature, that particular temperature, whatever chemicals were seeping out of that volcano, whatever, environmental factors came into play over that area, that will be what they need to fucking put in a bottle and sell for $1 million a piece.
You know what? I can appreciate that people want to learn things, and science has done a lot for us, but at the same time, like, God, just leave stuff alone sometimes. Like, you know what? You don't need to know. Oh, how does it work? It's none of your business. It's magic. Okay, just leave it alone, you fucking mental cases.
And they've been trying to clone Jesus. There's just always, every time they go to do that shit, there's somebody protesting it or whatever. And for once, yay, you don't what? Okay, so what happens if you clone this, DNA from the Shroud of Turin and make a humanoid, whatever you want to call it? I mean, I guess it would be called human, but you're making it in a test tube. So you take this fucking divine entity. Now, do you think its powers are going to transfer? If there were powers, and if there were, you look at our lives now, and you look at the Bible. No matter how forgiving the second God was, because nobody wants to listen to Dad. It's all fucking let's listen to the party and son. You know, you think he's gonna be well? Where do you think the first motherfucker is gonna fucking get their ass whooped in America? Vegas. He fucking hated casinos. He
Yeah,
fucking hated casinos and the
yeah.
churches because they had the fucking casinos in the churches.
Well, specifically, he hated moneylenders.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So that means the star is fucked. Talking about you want your fucking red heifers? Yeah. Do you really
Mm,
want them? Do you really want that burger that bad? Is that burger worth the ass whooping that you guys are gonna get?
I'm gonna learn today. Gonna learn today.
I'm just
Listen,
saying. I'm just saying.
uh,
And do you really think he's gonna approve of any of this shit? No, and he's not gonna be the understanding savior because he's not going to understand. He ain't been around in how many thousands of fucking years. The
yes,
internet, he's going to be like, this is a false god. He's going to try to zap it with that fucking, his little cane that turned into a snake.
yeah. I look forward to it. To be honest with you,
And
I want it.
can you imagine somebody just picking up Jesus's cane and being like, oh yeah, we got this down at Toys R Us. Oh, you didn't know that? The Chinese figured that shit out like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Listen, I I actively follow a guy on TikTok, and his whole thing is why the whites wonder, because he's like, why? Just and essentially he explains how white people are like, hey, it says I shouldn't mix these things, so I mixed them. You're like, why? Why would you? No, don't do that, stupid. It's like, hey, there's a dark forest. It looks sketchy. I'm gonna go see what's in there. No, don't do that. Go the other way, idiot,
Yeah,
to the light. You know,
yeah, I dated a
and
Christian white girl like that.
that's
I dated a
basically how that
Christian
is.
white girl like that. Let's
Yeah,
go down this walkway. Nobody's been. This is all dark and spooky. Let's go. Uh,
yeah,
if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna have my gun. I'm gonna have my night vision goggles on. I'm gonna have something recording, and I'm gonna make sure somebody knows where the fuck I'm at. We're not just gonna be like, "Hey, let's go in that hole."
I mean,
But she will, and
Saturday
she
night.
wishes she has.
Yeah, that's when you're like, that's not safe. Don't do that. And they're like, what? What's the big deal? And you're like, that's the look. There was a video of a lady who's like, I think my husband's being unreasonable because I was like, I want a headlamp for jogging. And he's like, why do you need a headlamp? She goes, oh, I want to go on this other path that's very not well lit and it's a lot of forest area. He's like, you want to go to a area where there's a lot of coverage. It's very dark. There's no lights and less people in the early morning when there's no sun out. She's like, yeah. He's like, no, don't go there. And she's like, you're overreacting. He's like, no, that's where people get murdered, stupid.
Yeah, that's
And
the
she's like,
beginning of a
oh,
horror
he's
movie.
being crazy. And you're like, you're being retarded. Why is that not? It's not confusing.
Just like we can circle back to the fucking alien thing when he first found that rock in the ground. No, you don't touch a little potato. You leave the potato alone. You don't touch a little potato. The potato is surrounded by fucking fire. You
Yes.
picked up the potato and you
Correct.
took it home.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
I mean, and I know it's Panama, but Creepshow has been out for fucking decades.
I mean,
Everybody knows Creepshow. Everybody knows the part where Stephen King fucking grabbed a meteor and he fucking got that shit on his hand and he turned into a big reefer nug. We all seen it.
I mean, it's part of history. I don't get it. It's very confusing. Anyways.
So we got a topic for tonight. You gonna be there tonight? What are we doing for tonight?
Yeah, we're going to talk about. So the quote that we have was provided by someone close to you, possibly a spy. Was remember there are no mistakes, only lessons.
That sounded like Jackie Cation's father.
No, it was Ray.
That's a direct quote from Jackie Cation's father.
Well, hey,
there are no mistakes. There's only lessons.
There are no mistakes. Only, let me see. Let's see who said it first. Lessons. Attributed to author and speaker Robin Sharma, a philosopher. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Alrighty.
All right, come check us out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be talking about that business, everyone.
And stay away from black goo.
I mean, that's what she said.
Have
a great day, everybody. See you later.
Oh, that was fucking great.
So what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah.